Don't be deceived. What the S95F Filmmaker mode truly looks like is a wild title, especially if all you're going to do is deceive and lie. Well, for those that don't know, there's a YouTuber by the name of Tech with KG. For years now, all he does is fabricate these types of comparisons with what he says a TV looks like. And so today I'm going to bring it home by showing you what it actually looks like. So to do this, I am in HDR mode. I'm using the same demo content I believe he was using in his footage. So what I have done here, I've got my Samsung S90D to the left, okay, and I've got it in my Eco HDR preset. Beautiful, fine, okay. But I've also gone a step further, and you can see over here at the bottom, it says HDR right there. If you want to zoom in, you can see it's in HDR. So this is going to be a like-to-like comparison. What I've also gone ahead and taken the liberty of doing is made sure that his more or less, I think, like type of setup is being honored, if you will, by trying my best to replicate this the way he was doing it. So we're going to go to the Jennifer Gala YouTube channel. Okay, since it just went back. So you can see that I'm doing this all in real time. Okay, and this video will not be touched. It won't have my logos put in it. Nothing is not going to be edited. Okay, because I want you to see straight from the camera. Okay, and so we're going to go to videos on the Jennifer Gala YouTube channel. I believe it was this one, the Dolby Vision 60 to 120 FPS tool. Some shit like that. I don't know. And we're just going to pick this one. We're going to fast forward to the first sequence, 2000 nits, okay? I believe that's what it is. I'm going to pause right here. Now on the S95F, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reset the Filmmaker mode. We're in Filmmaker mode. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and hit Reset Picture. Yes. And you'll look at all the settings that it has. 50 on brightness, 50 on contrast, 0 on sharpness, 25 color, 0 on tint, HDR auto remastering, grayed out, static, HDR tone mapping selected, peak brightness selected by high or too high by default, contrast enhancer is off, shadow detail is 0, gamma ST 2084 set to 0, auto for color, we have color booster pro off, warm 2, white balance. Under the 2 point, there is nothing done there. Everything is at 0. For the 20 point, more of the same. It's completely off. Okay. We go to picture clarity settings. They're off. Blue light reduction is off. 16:9 aspect ratio on with fit to screen on by default. And that's it. And then we'll go ahead once more. Here's my hand, here's the TV, and hit reset. So you see, these are the default values. This is what Filmmaker mode truly looks like. There is no way I can faux this, fake this, bullshit this in any way. So now that we've done that housekeeping, we're gonna fact check this, don't be deceived, what the S95F Filmmaker mode truly looks like video, because I feel like it's very harmful when you don't show people the truth. So we're gonna play a little bit, and we're gonna pause. There's no deception in the lack of color happening there versus my settings. Let me explain. I am not just a professional, but I'm someone that knows the ins and outs of TVs, pause, very well. And when you know the ins and outs of TVs very well, you learn certain behaviors, you learn how to adjust, and more importantly, you learn how to optimize them. Now, conveniently, Tech with KG doesn't do picture settings. The guy that says that TVs are supposed to look a certain way or whatever, he's recommending anything to you as a professional should have his work to show you how to make things better. He never does that. None of these guys talking about TVs ever do that. Why is that? Because they can't do it. They rely on default settings or reference calibrations to literally the 1990 standard, even though we have modern TVs with modern technology. But you never change your standards to accommodate the new technology. It's stupid because SDR does not look the same on TVs as it does in the 90s, and nor does HDR. But the image to the right is HDR on the S95F, and the image to the left is the image in HDR on the S90D from last year, okay? So you take a look at the lack of color that it has. Again, I will pause this example. I've talked about this in a video already, okay? I cannot put color there in the metadata that does not exist. I will open up my camera sensitivity to light called ISO so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? So if you look, you can clearly see that there are shades of yellow in this flower over here gold that you are not getting over here. And you will never get them because filmmaker mode is not accurate at all. Okay? At least when we're talking about true to life realism and just pulling out what's already in the content. It doesn't aim to do that. It is a weird thing that it just targets a bunch of brightness seemingly, because color, it definitely doesn't give you the color that they advertise or promise. This next world of color, this wider color gamut, amazing, awesome sauce, you tell me if that looks like what you're getting over there to the right. That is the filmmaker mode. But don't be deceived, right? Because, you know, and I read one of the comments on that video. I'll go ahead and pull it up here on my phone because I don't pay attention to every detail about what was said. I just know some shit was said. And a question was asked by somebody named Joe Des23. And they were like, is the black level raised to gray in filmmaker mode like someone else claims? Tech with KG says, no, that's insane. Okay, if that's insane, you're a liar. There is no way to say that the black levels that we're seeing out of the box aren't elevated and raised. And you can see that if we pause right here. Look at the color black. Look at what you're supposed to have. Look at the level of contrast detail. That is where you should have more of this so-called black color. And you don't have it over there. And you're missing all of the colors here. The lips look like trash there. I can't make it look this bad. And I have no reason to. See, the thing about a side-by-side comparison is it's really good, particularly at showing where one TV is missing color. Because you have a direct line of reference in the opposite direction, showing you what it should look like and what it does look like. Pause right there. This is as true as it gets as far as what it doesn't have. Because if we look at the S90D, it clearly has a load of yellow in this middle of this flower, and then you clearly see white. That flower is supposed to have a spectrum of color, ranging from pink to yellow to white to all of these different shades, and this is only presenting like this is a mostly white flower with a tiny little faded bit of yellow in all the areas it should have intense, good, rich yellow. It makes you believe that your content is less impactful than it really is, all for the sake of brightness that flattens everything out. Now, a thing about this Tech with KG YouTuber, I will just tell all of you guys this right now. I don't like that motherfucker. Why? He was a part of people back in 2022 working to discredit my work with lies, and he's still doing it today. He worked with people trying to get my channel canceled because he could. And by all means do that, but if there is something I don't have patience for, you can make your personal attacks and call me any name in the book, but when you're fundamentally deceiving people and then wrapping it up as the truth, I will expose you every day of the week in this field if I can do so. And it's not a hard thing to be able to expose. If you've seen this, comment down below. Have you ever seen filmmaker mode look washed out like this out of the box? If you are a user that has genuinely seen what the difference is that I'm showing here versus my settings, let people who don't know this, because this isn't just a personal thing, this is also an honesty thing. And there is such a lack of transparency and honesty, it's wrong. It just hurts me, honestly. It's like, dude, how the hell could you be so jaded? You will literally die on the hill of dishonesty and deception. Pause right here, because this was one of the videos he paused on, or images he paused on. How could you want to deceive people to make them truly believe that what you're getting out of the box looks closer to that? Now, what he does is he uses a camera that can shoot what we call raw footage. I'm shooting in HDR, but raw footage lets you go in to a video editor, this is the most important part, and go ahead and change colors to look the way you want them to look on a raw level, meaning you have total control over every color in the image. This is fine for maybe cinematography or photography type jobs, but if you're in the field of a one-to-one representation, this is horrible, because what this really does is gives the creator ultimate ability to mix and match things and edit things to lie. Now, the relevancy of me shooting this in HDR out in my camera and then just uploading it in HDR, as I will do, is you're going to be able to see with your own eyes, this is a raw out of camera footage feed. No augmenting of my settings, no augmenting of my camera. This is raw. This cannot be manipulated in any way. And I do this so that you can see lies, where they stand. The reason I want you to see the lies, pause, is because when you have a family, I don't know if this kid has a family or not, okay? God bless him. I'm not his enemy. I have no enemies, okay? This is about the truth. I might not like that motherfucker, but I'm not his enemy, right? This is about honesty. And when you have a family, like kids and a wife, the whole kit and caboodle, dogs, you have a life. And you're working hard to save money to do what's called an extravagant purchase, a luxury purchase, a frivolous purchase, right? I mean, you're talking about taking thousands of dollars of your income and just disposing it on a singular item. That's a lot of money that a lot of people probably have to save up for, put on a credit card, or just flat out don't have all in one go, especially in a single check. So there's probably a degree of saving or planning involved. And when they're planning, they're watching YouTube videos trying to make sure they're making the right investment of those dollars. And you get up on your platform and you manipulate the fuck out of them into thinking that what I'm showing is a lie because you just can't have me being credible and you just can't have me being honest. Two things are going to happen. One, my credibility will boost naturally when they take it out of the box and see what I've just shown, because they will see it. And two, you look stupid because all of this is in real time. I don't have to edit anything. Pause. That's not an edited image to the left. That is my settings. These are my calibrations versus Filmmaker mode on the S95F. And I love doing it this way because we're in HDR, right? And if you remember and catch that pretty little number, okay, I'm using the Eco HDR preset, okay? We're in Eco mode. Okay, eco mode. A lot of people have, issues with me using eco mode. Like, how could you do that? That's not accurate. That's not realistic. It's like, no, I get you have your disagreements with it. But when you see what I've done with eco mode versus Filmmaker mode, it's clear why I use eco mode and even just all the other modes, because now we're in Filmmaker mode. You can see even with the commercials on YouTube, it's washed as fuck. I don't need to lie. And I think this isn't more so for me, okay? Like, I have the best TV that money can buy. I have an S95D, an S90F, or rather S90D. I've got great TVs. I don't need to lie or fabricate anything, right? I'm good regardless. But for the person that genuinely will watch these videos and think like, well, maybe he's lying about black levels looking raised or off. It does look elevated and off, and you'll see it here. Because when you have dark areas, they're supposed to be shut off and dark, and they're raised. You're seeing it. It's clear. And if it looks crushed on the camera, I will try to open up my camera ISO so you can see it a little bit better. It looks about right there on my end, okay, from what the camera LCD is showing me, right? And it's elevated. It's too bright. It's raised, and there's no kind of contrast happening at all that should be there. And this is why I'll lower it back down. This is why I'll kind of maybe raise it here. I don't know. Trying to help this the best I can. Now listen, we're using cameras. It's never going to be a one-to-one, okay? There's always going to be a compromise between keeping things bright and dark on cameras. Dynamic range is always going to be limited compared to our eyes. However, when you look at color differences and contrast differences, that tells you everything about a television, which is why I focus so heavily on that. And if you look over here, this is three-dimensional, this is depth, this is life, this is color. This looks very high dynamic and range from all the spectrum of colors to the clarity to the highlights to everything. And this is just simply bright. It has nothing else. It doesn't have the color advantage. It doesn't have the contrast advantage. Everything that should have a dark shadow to it doesn't. I mean, and it gets to a point where it just feels flat. This year, the F and the 90 series, 95, 90F, it's the F in those series this year really, in my opinion, stands for flat. Look at this water. We get every detail we could possibly want on the S90D with the Quantum TV optimizations. But with Filmmaker mode out of the box, even though it has been calibrated to the reference standard according to Samsung, it looks flat and washed and not at all like what Tech with KG is telling you it's going to look like. These TVs do not ship out of the box looking S rank or amazing or legendary. That's something I give them because I know what to do to give them that extra push to give you better color. Just look at this flower. For crying out loud, just look at flowers. The yellow is off. It is way off. It is so beyond off that I don't even know how I could possibly call that a flower. You miss so much in the way of color and detail that it's just not fun, to be honest with you. Like, you look at all of these examples and you go, what the hell actually happened to the Samsung S90F? And the truth is, what happened to the S90F is actually what happened to all TVs. All TVs look like this out of the box. How we are ever going to defend the way a TV looks outside of the box is just intellectually dishonest, because I don't think anyone's actually defending that, if I'm being very transparent. I think the next one we could use is maybe this one, okay? I think it's very intellectually dishonest to go in there and say, you know what? I'm going to use a camera that is known for pushing saturation after editing and say that it looks the way it doesn't look, and when consumers buy off of a lie, that's tough on them, isn't it? Okay, so I think this was the other thing that he used. So let's use it and show you. And I'm making this thorough as possible so you can see the differences. Look at that. I'm not doing anything. This has been the same video, pause, from start to finish, that it will be. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm just going to take it out of the camera, upload it to YouTube, and you're going to see raw what it is. It is what it is. And again, not to be dramatic, but so that you know, again, nothing happened. We're going to go down into the picture, and we're going to be in filmmaker mode as we are, and we're going to go all the way down to the bottom if you had any doubts about this comparison so far, and reset. Okay, it's reset now, and it still looks like shit comparatively to an actually optimized HDR. I mean, I don't know what we're arguing here. I've never known what they're arguing. I mean, is your position that out-of-the-box TVs come totally buttoned up and perfect? That's a really stupid position to have, my guy, because anybody with eyes can see that that is clearly washed out. I mean, call me crazy, right? Maybe I'm the crazy one, pause, but I think that you should have all of the colors that this TV has versus the non-color that that one does. I mean, out of the box. I mean, why are we arguing this is beyond me. And more importantly, why are we lying to our viewers? If you can answer this tech with KG, because I know you'll see it. Why are you lying to viewers that have nothing to do with your feud, I guess, or disagreement with me? Why would you lie to your viewers that trust you? You're an idiot for that. Like, I mean, they're gonna find out. Like, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's like telling one of those big lies, like I jumped out of an airplane and survived. Like, it's a big, dumb lie like that. Like, you made it look like in your video, this eyeball that's clearly washed out had color like that. Why would you do that? It's clearly fact checkable. Like, it's not even a remotely good lie. It's such a bad lie. It's such a lie that anyone can fact check this. Look at the clouds. And you know what? You're about to get fact checked right now on a raw video in real time, because I'm going to show everybody. Look at all the color I have in the clouds. Look at all the contrast and everything here. Look at the kind of washed out nastiness that his clouds had, and it will still look washed out without any of the sun rays popping through or the contrast. Go to his video and look, it'll have that still. Even after his editing, you can't add certain bits of information that didn't appear back. Even if you have raw control, that color would have had to be recorded and captured on the image sensor to begin with, and it wasn't captured because it's not there in filmmaker mode. That's the tell. That's the dead giveaway. And while most people will never catch small details like these highlights and everything like that blasting through looking beautiful on the other TV, they will catch on when I show them and tell them where to look. And you make no mistake, I'll tell people where to look. And when they look, it's clear. It's very clear what's happening right now. There's a lot of lies going on around, again, what TVs look like versus what they don't look like. I couldn't tell you, pause, why you would try to lie and say the image to the right. Don't be deceived. It's not raising black levels. Okay, it's not raising black levels. Look at the black levels. Black levels, dark, inky, and rich. Contrast in the clouds. Gray. Gray. Just like I said it was. That's gray. That's black. Or a closer shade to what black is supposed to be. Look at the silhouettes. That's all washed out. That's literally lifted black levels. I'm not claiming they're lifted. It's a fact. You can see this on camera. That's lifted. That's where it's supposed to be. I don't need to lie. What do I gain from lying to people? Like, you guys realize we live in a day and age where honesty is already hated. If I position myself as the #1 brand in honesty and I am lying to you and you fact check me and find out I'm lying to you, credibility that's already hard enough to gain being totally honest would just evaporate overnight. I gain nothing from lying to you. I gain everything by doing this, by showing you the truth. And if you pause and you look at the truth, it's right there in your face. That's washed out. That's colorful. That is giving you more of the HDR you're supposed to have. And it don't matter how you try to slice this. He tried to make those fishes look more colorful with his video editing. He really did try you like that. Wait till we get to the fishes. He really tried to make you believe it was vibrant like it is over here. He tried you. Tech with KG is a liar. I've always had a problem with him for that specific reason. He lies. I don't know why. I honestly don't know how people even watch his shit. It's a lie. He lies. They're fake comparisons. They're forged. Look at this. This is the truth. That's what the S90D with my settings look like. This is what you're actually going to get on those other TVs, okay? Look, it's been reset. We'll do it again if you really need it. So this is going to be a straight upload from my camera to YouTube. And because it's HDR, it's going to take fucking forever, okay? And we're going to fucking just go ahead and hit reset. Reset the picture settings. Yes, reset, okay, bam. All factory, it's all been reset to factory. That's the truth. I don't need to lie. I mean, it's not deceiving anyone, KG. And anyone who is watching this video, send this to that motherfucker. Show his bitch ass. This is what it looked. Pause on the frog. He is so full of shit to try to make that frog look like color. It has color with editing. He's a liar. It don't look like that. It looks like what you're seeing on the screen right now because this shit has been reset like 3 times. And it's a direct upload. Look at the snake. He tried to make that snake look better so that y'all wouldn't understand what was going on because he's a marketing person. All those affiliate links on Amazon help him stay fed and his bills paid. I get the hustle. But you're not going to hustle my people. Because my people are going to know what the fuck is up. Your people will be in the dark all day, every day. Facts. My people, they will know that that is going to be washed out of the box in Filmmaker mode in HDR. This is going to be colorful. We aren't doing SDR. This is HDR, okay? So he can't even say, oh, it's not a 1-to-1. He's using SDR. No, I purposely did a 1-to-1 to replicate what he was showing to showcase truly there is a lie and there is the truth. I mean, like, pause right here. Look at the paint. You're telling me there's no raised black levels at all when I have color like this and I don't have it here? Come on now. It's not hard to follow the trails. But I will connect those dots every step of the way in case it is. Because it's clear that there is washed color on the S95F. Not a single YouTuber, not Bored at Work, not CNET, not Digital Trends, not HDTV Test, not Artings.com, not Brian's Tech Therapy, not Stop the FOMO, not Paul the Tech Giant. Not a damn one of those guys had the decency to tell you there is an enormous amount of color loss in Filmmaker mode. Out of the box. It will not come beautiful. You will have a lot of work to do to it. Not a single one of them had the decency to tell you horses look grayish white with no hair color at all versus Quantum TV's work. But you know what this does, right? If they were to tell you that Quantum TV is actually every bit as legit as you're seeing on camera, they're out of a job. Their position of accuracy is everything or out of the box is the best way to watch TV. Their entire business model burns up in flames overnight because you're not going to watch TV like that. And you're going to start seeing all the washed out examples in their comparisons and in their videos, which means they have to elevate and actually learn these TVs, which they don't know how to do. And this was the image Tech with KG used in his thumbnail. I'm going to hold it here for a minute. Because again, I don't like liars. And if you're going to lie, I'm going to call you on it. It's really that simple because I cannot stand when you do stuff like this to people. Right? Let it sit. Let it resonate. Let it do whatever, let it percolate. Let it do whatever it needs to do for you because Tech with KG showed an image that looks very colorful, okay? Now, don't even take my word. I'm going to use his thumbnail, okay, from his YouTube video, all right? And it's washed the fuck out. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. My phone isn't really showing all that, but go look at his thumbnail and look at that image I just had on the screen. It's very obvious dude was lying. And that's why I get irritated, honestly, because what the hell are we doing? It's 2025. These things are fact checkable, verifiable, and we're still peddling misinformation. Harmful misinformation for people using their savings. Like, you're basically swindling people out of their savings on a TV just because right now, for a season, it's the new model, and you know for a fact if you dupe enough suckers or enough people that don't know any better because they're new to technology, then you can make good money this season. You can get a really nice fat YouTube check. And boy, isn't that nice. Boy, isn't that better than being honest. Who wants that honesty thing? That honesty thing that tells you that it's all washed out and maybe you're better off buying the older model. Well, that doesn't really help you, does it? It doesn't really position you to succeed. But if you pay attention and you're watching with your eyes and your ears, not just your ears, your eyes will show you the truth. Right? I will literally, just for the sake of being dramatic, use this thumbnail, if I can, on my cover, just so we understand that he myth busted nothing. All he's done is expose himself. Look at how washed out the picture is. He's exposed himself on a granular level, and this is going to show you that. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and hit reset for the millionth time. You're seeing a raw, organic comparison. We're going to hit reset. Okay? Reset. And it just, look, I get it. You want Samsung to do better than they did, but they need to earn it. Damn it. They need to earn it. And this year, Samsung hasn't earned shit. Pause, but looking flat and washed out. I'm always going to be the king of calibrations and adjustments. Nobody's beating me with optimizations, or you would have done it already in the decade I've been doing this. No one's going to beat me at this. But you know what? At least you could show up to the conversation, showing people how to get a little bit better than this washed out garbage, instead of lying to them, telling them that this looks like that, like you do in your videos with your editing. Because that's what it is editing and lies. So that's why this video will be unedited, raw, and uncut. Just so you can see the real organic truth with your own eyes after being reset multiple times. This is an HDR and that is an HDR. That is reference accurate calibrated. This is Quantum TV optimized. You tell me which one you're rocking with, your preference, your choice. But the truth don't lie. The image comes washed out. If you like that, God bless you, enjoy it. But you cannot sit up here and laugh in somebody's face that has been working hard for their money, saving for a long time to come up, and then you're going to try to manipulate them out of their money. How dare you try to do that? But it's all good, bro, because I got them. And if you're watching this video, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to make sure people like Tech with KG can never hurt your wallet. Stay with me, subscribe, follow this journey, and you'll see time after time after time again, there's a clown like Tech with KG that will lie through his fucking teeth, and a real one like me that will put it out there so you can see the truth with your very own eyes. Thanks so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. This has been a raw, uncut, organic comparison, and until the next video, the S95F is every bit as washed out as I told you.